Man, after talking about Katamari again, it's starting to make me feel depressed. The thought of not getting a new Katamari game for this long, how can a game like this really end? I don't know how to get rid of this depression in any way. I've heard some people say watching anime is good, but I don't know. Well, it's not like I have anything to lose at this point. Here goes nothing. Alright, I know this is an out of nowhere topic in terms of my channel, but I really wanted to talk about this for a while. I don't want to drag this segment for long, but I feel like I need to give a disclaimer before I go into it. First, a lot of this video is my opinion, so obviously you don't have to agree with it. I'm sad to be saying something like this at this point, but I feel like it needed to be said. So please, if you want to give your opinions on the comments, I don't mind. Just be nice when you do so. Next up, there will be spoilers for a lot of shows. Whether there are shows you have watched or not, just a heads up. These shows may be big shows like Dragon Ball or Death Note, or something not so big like, I don't know, Jashin-chan Dropkick. Although I'm not saying I will be spoiling these shows specifically, I'm just giving an example of what may be coming. So just be cautious with proceeding. I'll give a disclaimer a bit before a spoiler is coming just in case. And finally, a lot of music and footage used is obviously not mine. The rights respectfully go to anyone who's worked on these shows and tracks. Please show your full support to anyone who's worked on these shows. Obviously, there is a chance that this video will get taken down because of copyright, and that's fine. But whenever I make videos like this one, I don't ever intend to monetize them. Not saying I could currently anyways, but if I had the option, I wouldn't do it anyways. But that concludes any disclaimers I have for this video. If you haven't noticed or this is your first time viewing my channel, I make a video like this at least once every year. My Wii U video being the first of its kind, while the two Persona videos being the next one. I tried to make a story alongside the review out of the video, but you don't need to really watch it if you don't want to. So without further ado, please, I would like you to enjoy this video as much as possible. I spent almost a year working on it, so do enjoy it. With anime, there's some history with it, just like how film came to be at first and other innovations. Now, animation has been played around with around the world pretty early in the 1900s. Many people would know that Astro Boy was the first anime to be shown in the West in the 1960s. But if you're familiar with Disney, you should know that animation started earlier than this. Disney's animations came to be around the 1920s, around 40 years before Astro Boy. Animation, or at least the first animation film, can date back as early as 1892 in France. Wow, the French not only made films, but they also made animated films. Anyways, the oldest known animation from Japan was made around 1907 to 1911. This animation, called Katsudo Shashin, actually has unknown origins to the date it was made or even its creator. It was even founded decades after it was made in 2005. That was almost 100 years of it being unknown. Anyways, the anime boom really happened with Astro Boy. Obviously, this isn't the very first anime, but it's pretty much what made anime what it is today. Without this, what would have anime been? So we know what anime's history is, but what about anime and its culture? Well, I don't know how you wouldn't know what anime is at this point of the video, but it's literally just the word animation shortened down to anime. But people nowadays consider animation and anime to be not exactly two different things, but still have their fair share of differences. Well, not animations itself, but cartoons. Cartoons are more for the Western countries, while anime is mostly associated with Japanese animation. You should, by now, know that anime typically has its distinct style in its art. Pretty much, if a character is more linear than circular, doesn't have very thick outlines, has the typical anime eyes and a bunch of other stuff that's the anime style. This isn't always the case since there are cartoons that try this style, like Teen Titans from 2003 or the first Ben 10. And there are anime that have a lesser anime style like Osomatsu-san or Penny and Stocking, which has more of the early 2000s Cartoon Network style. Anime culture is pretty much you and a group of people having fun with anything related to anime. This can be something like cosplaying, getting into manga and stuff, maybe make some fan art, or just simply talking about anime. You know, at this point in time, I wonder why there are people that try and hide the fact that they watch this stuff. More people are seeing this stuff as cool than lame. It's not like you're watching hentai, laying eggs or something like that. I guess it's a bit different than your average SpongeBob. So if your parents or someone just walks into your room looking at this instead of this, then I guess they may look at you funny. That brings me to my next point. You know what a weeb is? Well, you can give me 3 different answers depending on where you're coming from. If you're me, you would say it's Eeb with a W at the start. Other people think it means just liking anime, manga, and whatever geeky Japan stuff there is. But the real meaning to this word is a weeb is a derisive term for a non-Japanese person who is obsessed with Japanese culture, that they wish they were actually Japanese. So hear me out here, if you dress like an anime character, or just simply watch anime, you are not 100% a weeb. If you learn Japanese, try to live a Japanese lifestyle, and act like a Japanese person would, you are a weeb. Okay? So this is a mark that people don't really like to have with them, and that's why they're hesitant to say they like anime. That isn't the only reason, or really, not the actual reason why people just don't want to watch it. One of my friends says he doesn't like it because of the gigantic eyes some characters are given. Some people just don't understand the humor or reasoning anime tends to have, and some just really avoid it because they think it's weird. I wouldn't blame them at all, because I think all those reasons are pretty valid. It all boils down to people just don't want to watch anime because it's not their type of style. That also applies to literally anything. People wouldn't want to watch dramas because they are too serious. People don't want to listen to country music because it doesn't sound like hip hop or pop. See, people have the choice, and whether they want to step out of their comfort zone or not, it's up to them.
This way before. Who knew Dragon Ball can be so exciting, and Nyannyan Biori just looks so beautiful and it's so calming. Why does it feel as if something is just ignited in me? I don't know what this feeling is, but I want more of it. I gotta call Takumi and thank him for these recommendations. Yo, Takumi, I can't thank you enough for the shows you've recommended. Hey, do you know any more shows I should watch?
Why, I'm honored you asked me. Well, since you're eager to know, I guess I could lend you a hand. I suggest that you start with... And that's just the start. I'd also recommend Fate...
Whoa, chill. I'll start from Onyai and just go from there. Thanks for the suggestions, though.
I suppose you could do that. Ciao!
Well, hopefully these shows aren't bad. Oh boy, I can't wait to watch them all. Here goes nothing.
Culture. Such a magnificent word. Culture can really be anything nowadays. How people from a country would socially act, how society sees certain stuff which ends up being pop culture, and I hope I'm not wrong by saying that anime too has a culture. The definition of culture according to Google is the arts and other manifestations of human intellectual achievement regarded collectively. That pretty much means any content surrounding anime is part of the culture. Think about it. This whole thing didn't always start with magic girls, cosplay, and conventions. It was a simple type of cartoon, and now it feels like something we live alongside whether you're a part of it or not. I just appreciate how big this industry really is nowadays. I'd say anime has come a long way since its start. It's really like there is no way you would have lived a whole life without seeing something relating anime. And that's not to say that it's a good thing or a bad thing. It just means us people have supported anime to a point where it's just everywhere now. I like that. And you might have seen that man of culture meme too. I guess anime culture can go pretty deep depending on who you're asking. I'm just not the right one to ask.
すごいね、アニメは。But really, this is really fun to watch. What should I do now? Oh yeah, I gotta update my anime list. Also, are there any new figurines I should spend my savings on? Yeah, I'll ask Takumi, maybe he knows. Hello?
You've reached Takumi. Takumi speaking.
Ah yes, Takumi. I need your help.
Whatever can I help you with, Eebworld?
Yeah, so I decided to buy some figurines, but I really don't know which one I should buy. Got any ideas?
I do, but this phone call won't be enough to show you. So you should probably come over.
That doesn't sound bad. I'll come tomorrow.
Alright then.
Hello? Takumi? Signal must have cut. Well, tomorrow, huh? Looks like it's time for a shave.
Just like every type of media in this world, anime has genres. Actually, a lot of genres. You've got your typical romance, drama, comedy, slice of life, action, and whatever. But then you have things like dementia, ecchi, isekai, shonen, shoujo, game, harem, mecha, parody, and much more that aren't typical in TV dramas and stuff. My favorite genres are slice of life, romance, and comedy, while things like shonen and action are pretty close up there. But my least favorite genres have to be mecha, isekai, and harem. I don't know, mecha might surprise people, but I'm not that big on giant robots fighting and stuff. Crazy, right? I also just have a hard time actually liking the designs. Don't get me wrong, things like Gundam, Gurren Lagann, and Evangelion have such awesome robot designs, but I simply feel like those things just aren't for me. Isekai is a genre that has been done to death at this point. A lot of shows have the same thing going for it. Once upon a time, there was a nobody who died and was reborn to live in an isekai world. It's not fun the 100th time, okay? There are awesome isekais though, like Konosuba, No Game No Life, and That Time I Got Resurrected as a Slime, and some other shows are actually pretty good. But that's really about it. And obviously, just because I like and dislike certain genres, that doesn't mean I like or dislike every show within those genres. There is something for everyone in every genre, maybe not the ones in red though.
Hey, Takumi.
Greetings, Eve!
So, what now? I'm here. So show me your suggestions.
Now, we could do what I said we'd do. But no. I want to show you the true beauty of being a weeb. And it's way more than just figurines. You might want to sit down. This is going to take a montage. And take notes, this will be on the midterm. So, you understand now, right?
Wow. I didn't know there was so much to being a dedicated weeb. I kinda wanna go to Japan now.
Well, why don't we do that then?
How? I'm pretty sure there are like factors that prevent us from doing so.
Not if we go to the spot.
The spot?
Now, usually it'd be a very long plane ride to get there. But if we use the spot, we can get there instantaneously.
Instantly, you say? Then why don't we go there now?
The soonest time we can leave is 12 p.m. on the dot.
Alright then.
Hey, wait! Don't forget to bring your luggage! He's gone.
Music is such an important part to making anime. It's just as important as music in a video game or a movie. With the right music, scenes can be more memorable or just pop out more. A show like One Piece would use more of a sailor type soundtrack, while Hunter x Hunter would use more of a fantasy adventure soundtrack. Then crazy scenes like Goku turning into Super Saiyan for the first time, or Naruto goes to his Kyuubi mode for his first time, they need songs that are crazy. But you don't always need songs to make a scene pop out. Take Sanji leaving Bartier. The Japanese version uses silence to make the scene just that much more impactful, while the 4Kids version uses music which almost completely ruins the mood. I'll show a comparison in a bit, but for recent reasons with fair use just not existing in Japan, I'll have to edit the scene quite a bit, but I hope it doesn't ruin it for you. Anyways, let's start with the original version. Okay, you know what? Screw it. Look at it in all its might. This scene deserves better.
いいのか挨拶いいんだ
サンジ風邪ひくなよ
And now the 4Kids version.
It's time.
Ready for duty?
Yes, I am.
Stringbean! Huh? You're not an assistant anymore. You're the real thing.
You could see the difference in terms of its presentation. This isn't the only scene like this, as if you pay attention, you may notice that it's more frequent than you think. That is, if the show's actually trying to be memorable and uses it correctly. When everything is done right in anime, it just becomes a form of art. I mean, art is typically used to spread some sort of message. Could be personal, could be universal. It's just a way for people to tell a story. Just like theater, anime combines all types of art to make the story it's telling. This can be done amazingly and people will collectively think a show is amazing, or it can be done poorly, but people would still argue that the show is good. Not me for that example. But whatever the case is, this can really be said about anything. Cartoons and video games have the same thing going, but I would argue that video games should be considered their own category of art. Not going into detail for that one. Anyways, it's been shown time and time again that anime can be art. Art style too contributes to this as it makes the whole experience much more memorable that way. Think about it. Panty and Stocking isn't that deep of a show, but its art style really pops out. Well, that's all I really need to say about anime being art. It's got the same properties as art, so it might as well be considered art by people who aren't anime fans.
Are there some sort of magic powers in this place? Are you kidding me? Why do I always end up here?
Ah, finally here. To answer your question, yes, this place does have magical powers. I mean, you're probably familiar with them. You've come to this location, what, twice now?
Well, I only teleported here once. The second time was scripted by you.
Well, technically, you wrote the script, but who cares? Yes, this spot holds a special force that allows you to teleport anywhere.
Where's your luggage?
I've already put my stuff in the room.
Oh. You won't believe this, but I forgot my luggage. Don't worry, I'll be back, alright?
Hurry then! We're gonna miss that Tsunemiku concert!
Don't worry, before you can finish saying Eebworld Season 8.
Alright, now where'd I leave that bag of mine? Ah, there it is, right in front of the TV. Wait a second, how did my bag move over there when I could have sworn I left it right here? Whatever.
Oh no you don't.
Whoa, tentacles. Wait, don't come any closer. Stop! No! No!
Alright, so this segment is heavily opinionated and may make many people upset at me. Well, so long YouTube. But really, I want to share my actual opinion on individual shows since I won't really get the chance anytime soon. Here's how this is gonna work. I'll choose 10 shows from the top 100 shows in terms of how many people watched it from my anime list, and 10 shows that I just want to talk about. From the top 100, I won't do it in a specific order, so it's any shows I want to talk about from the top 100. Shows that have multiple seasons will just be considered as one entry. For example, Attack on Titan will combine all the seasons it has, as it's a continuing story and many elements are presented throughout the seasons. No movies, OVAs, or specials allowed. And from my own 10 shows I choose, I won't make them all positive. So without further ado, my show review starts now. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Amazing show. I'm not a big fan on the European setting for a lot of stories out there, but this one gets a pass. It has a fantastic art style with some pretty nice character designs. Every episode had me sitting at the edge of my seat, and I felt like I needed to know what would happen next. The ending was satisfying too, and I kind of feel like that element is gone nowadays. 9 out of 10. One Punch Man. Very funny and really simple. Season 1 does things really well, but Season 2 is a bit lacking. However, both seasons still have great sequences and a fun story to follow. 8 out of 10. My Hero Academia. Kinda mixed about it, a pretty unique idea with an awesome art style, cool character design, and powers, but the story really drags on a bit too much. At least for me. 7 out of 10. Naruto. I liked how the show started, then it started to get serious, so I was kinda bored with it. It had some very beautiful parts in it. My favorite character is Jiraiya, but he was too good to be true. A lot of filler in the first season, but Shippuden was mostly story. I didn't like the sudden change of mood because it made it feel like a whole new show, but it still fulfilled the story, which is fine. I haven't started Boruto yet, so I have nothing to say about it. 7 out of 10. Steins Gate. A very crazy show that made me go crazy, in a good way. A pretty cool science fiction that had the story go full circle. From the first episode, you heard some screaming happen, and in the final episode, it reveals what caused that screaming. The art style was a bit generic, but that's okay. 8.5 out of 10. Toradora. Best romance show that exists. Well, not totally, but this show has some vibe that makes me feel so comfortable. A nice soundtrack with a nice art style easily made it one of my favorites. Some parts of the story were a little annoying, but overall, it was great. 8 out of 10. Angel Beats. Some show this was. A nice cast of characters and a story that takes some crazy turns. Watching this show twice though does kind of ruin the vibe a bit, but the show looks pretty nice for 2010. 7.5 out of 10. One Piece. What a crazy adventure this was. Would you believe me if I told you I caught up with the whole entire show in a month? Well, I mostly binged it, but there were amazing parts and every arc that happened is so good. Actually, I hated 2 arcs, but the rest were good. I just dislike how a filler is put there from time to time. The Wano arc makes my opinion much higher as the production of the overall show at this point went crazy. If I had the chance to rewatch the entire show once it's over, I 100% will. 9 out of 10. Assassination Classroom. This show does a lot right, but not perfect. I really enjoyed a lot of the show, and that ending was one of the top 10 endings I've ever watched. You just grow attached to the whole Class E and Koro Sensei, but obviously, all that fun has to end somewhere. This is actually one of the few shows I teared up because of that ending. 8 out of 10. Dragon Ball. This show is so hard not to be biased towards. This is my favorite shonen and favorite anime ever. Dragon Ball was more of a martial arts show, with a crazy adventure which makes me respect it more than Z, but Z was so cool that I can't ever not think about it. GT was GT. It honestly had one of my favorite endings to a series ever, but the journey to get there was so painful as a Dragon Ball fan. And Super was decent, better than GT, but it really had more potential that it didn't get to. 8.5 out of 10. And now for my list. Some of the shows are in the top 100, but I just really wanted to talk about them. The Devil is a Part-Timer. Pretty good idea. Why make the Dark Lord an evil character when you can make him work at a McDonald's? It is new in terms of its concept, but in terms of story, it's kind of mixed. Some new elements, and some elements you may have seen already. Kind of confused as why it took this long for a season 2, but I'm happy nonetheless. 7 out of 10. My teen romantic comedy Snafu. An overrated show. It's decent, but from the first second you see Yuki Noshita appear, you just know that she will win. So there is no real point in the challenge they decide to do at the end of the second season. The story may be a little too big brain for me. I can't relate on anything about being part of the student council, so it was kinda hard for me to understand. There were fun parts, but I genuinely found this show boring. 6 out of 10. The Pet Girl of Sakura So. I find myself somehow watching this show once every year. The message of being a failure only makes you try harder while being successful pushes you too far ahead is a message I feel like some people need. It's a message we see time and time again, but this is my favorite animated form of a story like this. 8 out of 10. Great Teacher Onizuka. This is such a classic. This is another show I see myself watching once every year, but just because it's so fun. The story is so wacky, but it has its fair share of serious scenes here and there. This show is one of its kind, as you will not see a show like this appear in the modern age now. I truly wish there were more of Ekichi Onizuka, but I don't see him returning anytime soon. As for its predecessor, it was fun. Seeing how Onizuka was a rebel was cool to watch, but this was just a ratchet show. No true message in it. 8 out of 10. Kaiji. Never have I experienced any form of media that managed to have my heart beat so hard in my life. Throughout both seasons, I felt as if I was one of the contestants that were part of the twisted challenges. This is a show where you truly cannot predict what's gonna happen. Surely you may know that Kaiji will survive through this, but the question is how. There are times you actually feel like he won't survive, so it's so good in terms of its psychological twists. Have that with an amazing art style and a fitting soundtrack, and you deserve a 9 out of 10 for that. I highly recommend this show to everyone, but it can be pretty disturbing at times. Osomatsu-san. This is like South Park but Japanese. This is one of those shows that don't play by the rules, even in its licensing. Somehow, the very first episode of season 1 managed to get banned because it had so many parodies, but that's just a no-no in Japan. Very funny throughout the series, and it has such a good art style in my opinion. I do hope it has enough support to get a season 4, but currently, I don't think it will. 8 out of 10. The Disastrous Life of Saiki Kuso. Another show with a great idea. Make an overpowered character, but give him a far from peaceful life. I do wish we could see a little bit of what happened after the end of the series, but I wouldn't count on it. 8.5 out of 10. Tanaka-kun is always listless. One of the most common shows you will ever watch. Who knew a show about a listless teen would be so exciting to watch? This show has the same vibe some people would feel in a cafe. So calming and worth the watch. 8 out of 10. Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei. So confusing, so strange, but so funny. This show somehow got more than one season, but they don't have a real story behind it. The whole mood of the show is depressing, but at the same time not really. I'd only say to watch the first season because after that, you get the point. Season 3 had one of the best openings in anime in my opinion though. 7 out of 10. Non Non Biori. Another common show that's worth the watch. The setting takes place in the countryside, a setting you would rarely see in anime. This show has such beautiful backgrounds, and sometimes that's what the producers want you to focus on. Nothing eventful, but I think a 4th season would be nice. It's not needed though. 7 out of 10. Here's a bonus, cause this show is just School Days. Screw this show. From the start, I knew something was off, as if this is a show I should not be supporting. And I was right. It wasn't the show itself, but the main character. If I could beat this character up in real life, I would. But but he did get what was coming to him, so I guess I'm satisfied. But at the same time, I was so shocked because I didn't expect that to happen. The visual novel was better, 4 out of 10. There are so many shows I wish I could talk about, but I already think that this segment is too long. So here's a quick list of other shows while I just talk about other stuff. There are so many shows out there that have a fan base, even the smallest, or the ones that aren't that high in score from my anime list. The biggest one I haven't included was Death Note, and for a good reason too. Well, maybe not, but a reason for sure. I think my opinion of this show will really have me under fire for what I have to say about it, so I don't think this video is enough to let me make my point. So instead, if people really want to see it, then comment down below and I'll make it. Anyways, that's what I think about all the shows I've talked about. Overall, I think anime is pretty cool. Well, I've been giving it pretty good qualities throughout the video. So what else would I say? I guess I do have some complaints on the subject. First, why do so many shows go for the same art style? Some of the time it's fine, but most of the time, the show's just gonna be super bland. Next up, why are there so many freaking isekais out there? Could you not think of anything that's a little more original? There are so many cool ideas out there. So why is Dragon Quest the first thing that comes to mind? And finally, why is it that there's not so many services to watch anime? Sure, Crunchyroll and a bunch of other services can make the experience better, but why can pirate websites bring some crazy shows like Ebishi? You know what? It's simple. Copyright. Yep, I guess that's the biggest complaint I have with anime. But other than that, I like anime. Not so much to base my life around it, but not so little to think lowly of the people who like it and stuff. Give anime a try, and if you don't like it, that's fine by me. Just don't hate people who like it. They aren't like you, and you aren't like them. Before I end things off with the next scene, I'd just like to apologize for not upload as much this year. If you've watched my channel intro, which is Welcome to Eebworld, you'd know that I said I would make a video every 2 weeks. This wasn't the case for the last couple of months, and they were due to multiple reasons. All my fault. I didn't know if I wanted to truly continue this YouTube channel for a while, since I don't really have that many supporters. I work and put a lot of effort, but there was no real support or motivation for me to continue. So I really considered quitting for the last couple of months. I mean, I spent 10 months working on this very video with only me and a couple of actors. However, if you, the viewer, have made it this far into the video, then I know that this was worth it. Thank you from all of my heart for making this video worth making. Let it be known that I appreciate you watching this far. Now, what happened with those tentacles in me? Wait a second. What's this? Am I 2D? What is this place?
Interesting.
Huh? Excuse me? Where is this place? Okay, well, is there any way to get out? Fine, I'll just find an exit myself. Thanks for nothing, I guess. Whoa, whoa! Hey, what was that for?
No leave. Stay here.
What? Why? So, you don't want to talk, eh? Then I'll just have to beat it out of you. What was that all about? Why is he strong?
Stay, or you be hurt bad. Ouch.
Whoa. Is this an anime world? Could it be that anime logic works here?
You aren't with me? Very big problem.
Now that I know it works, I want to try something. Here goes nothing. Wow, amazing. This power, it's remarkable.
Very bright. Come back.
I'm done waiting. I need to get out. Tell me now or you'll regret it. Alright, just remember, this is what you wanted. Oh, I wasn't trying to hurt you that much. Sorry.
You are close. Stay with me. Forever.
Huh? So that's it, huh? There's nowhere to go. There's only darkness. Maybe being here isn't so bad. Staying here feels so comfortable. Eve, over here. Is that someone I know? Is that an opening over there? You see that open space? Then quickly, head over there. I don't feel like it. Hurry, it's the only way out. Huh?
Are you leaving?
Oh! Huh? I know you wanted me here and didn't want to do anything bad to me, but I can't stay here. So here's my gift to you. Ah! Thank you. You're free now. I hope you enjoy being wherever you are. Whoa! Wait, I'm 3D again. But hold on. Where was that voice? Don't worry, we'll meet again soon. See ya. So, I don't know who that is for a while, huh? All's well that ends well. Wait, I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh well.
It's no biggie. Eve should be here. Any second now. Please?
Although it seems so hard, we still have hope left. So let's just get right to it now. Let's just jump all the way to the top. Even if it seems very far, I think it's very, very possible something will trip. But we'll get back up and then get closer to the top. I know it seems very far right now. You'll never know, maybe we will lose, but we'll never know till we try. Even if it seems very impossible, the only chance we get is right now. What are we doing? The end is there. So let's just end this now. We'll do it now together. It's thanks to everyone I've made it this far. But it's not done, we're almost there. Let's just run all the way to the end. We are very close right now, but that doesn't mean it's done just yet. Something will fall, but we'll climb back up. We'll get even closer now. It's time, we're almost at the end. I see it now, we can finish this, even if we're very tired right now. We just gotta push to the end. It's over there, all that hope is true. Maybe now we can finally rest. Our work here's finally done. It's like a dream come true. That's right, Eeb. Keep walking. Our plan is going accordingly.
Well now, it seems that Eeb is doing what we want. Shall we move on to the next phase?
Of course. I'm really glad I teamed up with you, PS Lover. Or should I say Simon?
It was the stars that brought us together. Or should I say, the world. Eeb's world.
It's only a matter of time that it will be ours. Ha 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 ha.